She comes from a race of super-powered warriors, and every now and then they'll venture out into the world to tell everyone to sit the fuck down. You know.
She is the most iconic female superhero in comic book history, and she's drawn by this woman. Yes, meet the woman behind Wonder Woman. Nicola Scott is the Australian artist who is in charge of bringing that most iconic female superhero, Wonder Woman, to life. Scott has won countless awards. She's a pioneer of the art form, and this is how she did it.
Welcome to the show!
Thanks for having me.
People have an image that everybody that ends up working in comic books grows up looking at comic books, but for you that wasn't the case. You had a connection to the characters before the books.
That's right, yeah. I kind of grew up on 70s TV and film, so there was Linda Carter was my first superhero. I come from a big girl family. Lots of, a few generations of just girls. The more I got to know the character, and probably the more I fell in love with the character, was probably because I continued to relate to her. And I didn't understand comic books. So on the very odd occasion when I'd see one, I'd look at it and it'd be full of all these other characters that I didn't know, like Black Canary and Green Arrow, and I'd just be like, who the fuck are these people? I don't know these people. That makes no sense to me. It's wrong. They got it wrong. They got it all wrong. Be gone from my sight. And one Sunday morning, I was like, I can draw, and I really like Wonder Woman, and it would be great if I could just be paid to draw Wonder Woman all day, every day. Oh my God, there is a legit job that exists right now, somewhere in the world. It's in comic books. Oh my God, I should be drawing comic books. They're full of superheroes. I love superheroes. What am I doing? Because I was already just about to turn 30, I was smart enough to know that I didn't know anything, and so I would just have to start with the dumb questions, and I did. I just sort of started off by going into a comic book store, and eventually what became apparent that if I wanted to make a living out of drawing comics, I had to go to America. So it was like, see you later everybody, I'm going to America.
What sort of reactions are you getting from family here? I'm like, I'm gonna go off to become a comic book artist. Like, they're like, are you mad?
Actually, no.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you're the one person with a supportive family. Screw you.
I actually am. Certainly, some of my girlfriends were like, you're what now? What are you doing? And so I kind of packed up my life. And I was like, okay, I just need to get rid of everything that doesn't serve the goal and one track mind it to getting what I want. Well, I went to San Diego Comic-Con, the biggest convention in the world, and I was like, okay, I'm going to that one.
Naturally, right.
So I went there with what was absolutely a first-timer's portfolio, and every second person around me seemed to have a portfolio. You know, I would have thought at least 1,000 people were walking around with portfolios trying to get work. And that was overwhelming. And it took me a couple of days to build up the nerve to start showing my work to people. And when I did, they would be flipping through it like, oh, this is a hot mess of a portfolio, because it was absolutely a first-timer's portfolio. But I came away from that experience going, right, I didn't know what I needed to do, and now I do know what I need to do. I'm gonna come back next year. And so I went back the next year, but this time I had a smart portfolio. Still wasn't very good, but it had the right materials in it. Here, whole stack. This is issues 1 to 5 right here.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and some of issue 6.
Oh, wow.
Quite often a first-timer's portfolio was just full of, look, I can draw. And it's like, yes, you can. What do you want from me?
Yeah, because it's not just about drawing, is it?
It's not just about drawing. It's about storytelling. I'll take my script, which reads like so.
Oh,
so
really
it looks
does.
a bit like a movie script.
Yeah, it really does.
It's got the dialogue, it's got stage directions. The writer is kind of the writer and the director, and the artist is the cinematographer and the actor and the production designer. You know, I'm casting all the characters, what everyone needs to look like, and sometimes I will literally stand up and act out all the parts.
Oh my God, I wish there was a security camera here to capture all
you
that.
really don't, it's too embarrassing.
Oh yes, I do.
Occasionally I'll find myself doing an action at the window, sort of trying to find where my centre of balance is, and I'll look out the window and see that people are looking at me going,
Your neighbours think you're crazy.
yeah, pretty much. We've been putting off getting a kitten because I'm not ready to deal with the anxiety of it just chewing up a piece of artwork or shitting on one or whatever's going to happen. Do you know what I mean? I know it's inevitable.
What's the worst thing that's ever happened?
I fell asleep with a pen in my hand and put a line through it. Yeah, and I had to Photoshop it out.
When you sit down to draw a really iconic character, is there a moment where you sort of acknowledge the responsibility of that?
Every time. Every time. On my second page of my first book, there was Wonder Woman. And it was like, oh my God, I'm drawing Wonder Woman. For realsies. I was also drawing all these other characters.
Please
that I
tell me
didn't
you
know.
definitely said for realsies.
Oh, I'm sure I did. It was 10 years ago. I don't know that that was a word back then, but it's not a word now. From having no idea in my sunroom to having a job at DC Comics took about 4.5 years, which isn't very long considering I had no idea what I was doing. But, you know, it happened pretty fast just because I drove it there. I tend to do about 10 issues a year, but I still have to work 7 days a week to achieve that.
It's a full-on job.
It's a full-on job. And I don't think I've ever stopped long enough to sort of reflect on what I have done because I'm too busy doing the next thing, which sounds like I'm sucking all the fun out of it.
It does.
But I think where I get those moments to sort of reflect on what I have done is when I'm at conventions. And they don't know what's come before it. They just see the finished product. And it's not until someone sort of says, this is my favorite book, or I've been reading your stuff since you started. And it's like, oh, wow. That's when you get some reflection.